Do the Avengers pose a danger to society? That was the question, Bruce. That was the question.
Well, we all lost something that day. But that's not how this story ends.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our E3 coverage from the Inner Gamer. Be sure and subscribe to catch all of our reactions for E3 and the gaming industry as a whole right here on the Inner Gamer YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button and bang that bell for all the updates you need to know. It's been a long day of E3, and we have just ended with Square Enix's press conference. Square Enix this year decided to not do a long 30-minute video trailer back-to-back without any actual press conferencing things. They actually did a real press conference and had it in like a theater, and there were people that came out on stage, and that was interesting. It was kind of cool. It was definitely better than last year, and we have some things to talk about. First of which, they pre-spoiled their own spoiler system. Like, instead of leaking by somebody else, they leaked themselves the release date to Final Fantasy VII's Remake, which is coming out on March 3rd of 2020. So that's right around the corner. But just so you know, they release all kinds of stuff. As you're watching right now, there is like gameplay, and you can see the game being played, which is why it's called gameplay. And then there is like cinematic stuff, and this game looks really good. Yeah.
Yes, it does. It looks great.
Yeah.
I again, I've never played it, and it's one of those games which I'm glad they've done some sort of refurbishing to the brand and everything else that's involved with the game, so I can play it and feel comfortable playing it and not feel like I'm playing something from the Stone Age. And I'm pretty pumped to play. The combat looks like Final Fantasy and or Kingdom Hearts, and that's always been fun, building up stuff and chaining attacks together and doing some cool things that you can only do in a JRPG type game. And they're beloved characters that I know just as much as what people have said in passing, and because they're so popular. And obviously Cloud is one of the most famous characters, I think, only in video games. Well, yeah, in video games. So to get to know him finally, and I know they're going to do the character justice, so I'll get a good understanding of like where people have come from all this time and catch up with that generation that I was a part of.
Yes, indeed. I've never played it either, but so watching through this conference and everything, they did mention that I found confirmation here that it is going to be an episodic game, and the Midgar portion, for those of you that are Final Fantasy VII players, that is going to be its own game. Apparently, there was so much extended content in that section of the game that they were able to make it out into its own episode, and then they're going to be diving deeper into that, and then later on they'll have more stuff that's going to be for the additional episodic pieces. But I guess the first game is going to be 2 Blu-ray discs worth of content, the first of which is on 1 disc, and that's the Midgar portion. And they also showed off some stuff about the remaking of the combat, so how they approach the combat in the modern age. So the original did not do this, but now they're fusing real-time action and strategic command-based combat. So when you press square, Cloud swings his sword, and he can also dodge and block. But they also have time battle meters that fill up on their own and allow you to do faster moves whenever you're landing your attacks. So there's a lot of depth, it seems like, in this combat system. And again, I've never played the original, so I don't know how it compares to the original. But it reminds me of the Kingdom Hearts combat system, personally, which I think is like all Final Fantasy games, ultimately. But it seems like it's a lot deeper now than it was before, which is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
And you can switch characters with the press of a button, which they showcased in the trailer as well, with Cloud and Barrett battling a robot and a bunch of enemies, and you were able to just like jump around from character to character and take cover behind debris with the robot firing a death laser and then killing people with the big huge cross slash that Cloud has. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake with the Midgard part, it sounds like is exclusively what we're going to see on March 3rd, 2020, with more coming out later. But that is the extent of what we got, and that's it was a good start to the showcase.
Yeah, they didn't pull any stop, or they pulled all the stops, didn't pull any punches. Like everyone got what they wanted. The crowd was surprisingly super active and loud throughout the whole presentation. And
they were
these
they were
guys
hype, man.
are like hardcore Square Enix fans. Like, and it's awesome to see that, because I felt like we got some of that, and I think some of it was a little fake. And it's good to see that there are still like fans who are super excited for certain things at E3.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, both Bethesda and Square Enix have their like loyal fans that basically will buy anything and everything that they produce
Yeah.
and won't ever leave it, even if they want to slap them in the face with microtransactions like Fallout did.
Yeah.
But they'll still do it anyway. But yeah, so that was the big part, the opening part here. But they also had a lot of other Final Fantasy stuff, like Final Fantasy VIII is getting remastered, and that's going to be coming out this year actually on PS4, Xbox, and PC and Switch. And so there's actually a lot of people that I think almost like that game better than the other one. So it looks a lot better for sure than the original. And for those that are fans of 8, you're going to get to go back to that world and play it again, which is pretty cool. And then they have some games that are coming to the West, like Romancing Saga 3 and Saga Scarlet Grace, which I've never heard of before, but they're finally coming over to the West. There was a brand new IP that was announced from the people that are titled People Can Fly. They worked on Gears of War Judgment and Bulletstorm, and next summer 2020 we're going to be able to play a game called Outriders, and it looks very dark and grim, and it is a 1 to 3 player cooperative shooter, and they call it a journey across a dark and desperate sci-fi world in search of the source of a mysterious signal. And we'll find out more this winter on that game. But what do you think about this game, Austin? What were your thoughts on the initial announced trailer? Obviously, it wasn't a lot to take off of it other than the tone. But what did you think about it?
Yeah. I mean, I used to get really pumped with these trailers, but now it's like, okay, I've seen what you have to offer. I get a little glimpse of something that you're making. I need to see more. I just need to see more. Unless it's a franchise that I already know about, like I can get a little hyped for things like this, but I just can't get hyped. I'm
getting old.
I'm just being optimistic right now. This E3 is really tempered.
Wait, you mean pessimistic?
Yeah, I've been very pessimistic. Thank you.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was like, oh, you're positive right now? I do not believe
Just
that.
yeah, no, I'm not positive. It's just like all the things that have gone down the past year, actually. It's just made me so bitter about the game industry. And so I just need to see more, because we've been lied to too much, and people overpromise stuff. And, you look at a trailer and it's like, okay, what are you really showing me here? So I'm just trying to keep an open mind for sure. Like I want to see more, and then definitely have potential to get pumped.
Cool. Well, I love Bulletstorm, so I would love to jump into a world that is produced by the same team. I heard Judgment wasn't as good, but Bulletstorm was fun, so maybe they'll bring something cool to the table that outshines a little bit different. Oninaki is a game from RPG Factory, makers of I Am Setsuna and Lost Sphere, and it comes out August 22nd, 2019. So there's a trailer for that, and then we have Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition coming out this winter from mobile phones. The Last Remnant Remastered is available today on Switch, which is pretty wild. It's like, hey, guess what? There's this game that's remastered, and here you go. You can jump into it. And Kingdom Hearts 3 is getting a DLC called Remind. I didn't quite understand this trailer. I was lost a little bit. It looked like there was like some time stuff going on. I don't really know, but it's coming out this winter and it was confusing, but there's DLC, so that's cool. And then Square Enix Collective is publishing a game called Circuit Superstars in 2020. It's a top-down automobile racing game developed by Original Fire Games. It was once called Apex Racing League. Austin, you saw the trailer for this. I missed this one in the conference because I was in between conferences. Was it cool looking? Was it like the best thing you've ever seen in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I saw this for a second. And they did a cool little spot with the developers from Mexico. And I'm really happy when I see people branching out to other countries who are actually trying to make good work and promote it. This isn't a game for me. It's just not something I'm interested in. And, you know, I know that's a big thing in Europe and Mexico and stuff like this Forza type high-speed car racing, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's going to find an audience for sure, and I'm glad Square Enix has taken that upon them to help some indie creators.
Yeah, I like it's got a little bit of an arcade look to it. It's very basic and kind of like kid-friendly, and it touches in on that motorsport kind of aspect, but it's just very, very friendly and approachable and just simple and easy. And yeah, I might give this game a try. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that is basically the gist of everything that they announced. I mean, there wasn't really anything else to be really talking about. I mean,
no, nothing else.
Square Enix was cool, and I mean, it was pretty great. Oh, wait a minute. Marvel's Avengers. That happened.
Cue theme song.
Cue the theme song.
We won't do that. We'll get copyrighted.
I know. Yeah, we'll get copyright struck on that real hard. Yeah, they saved for the very end. Obviously, Marvel's Avengers. This is the game that's in development by Crystal Dynamics, the makers of Tomb Raider. And I also did not realize this, but they also said that this is in partnership with Eidos Montreal, which is the ones that make Deus Ex. So they have multiple studios working on this title, and they finally showcased it. They showcased a cinematic trailer, which I think blended some gameplay. Now, it wasn't confirmed per se, but it looked like there was some gameplay mixed in there, if this is what it actually looks like. So that was cool. But basically, you are playing this game, and it takes place on A-Day, Avengers Day. They're opening the brand new headquarters. Now, this is a brand new story that they didn't really say if it's canon or not. Actually, it's not canon. It's just like a reimagining of a story, I think, in the Avengers world. So they said, here, take it, make it, do something cool. So A-Day's happening, opening the Avengers headquarters. They have a helicarrier that's really cool and powerful and awesome. And then apparently somebody's there trying to steal it. And then as they're trying to steal it, it like crashes or something. And then there's a big, huge explosion. And then the Avengers are blamed for this event happening, and then are ultimately disbanded, and then everybody hates the Avengers. And then 5 years later, there's this new evil that comes about, and now it's like we need our heroes that we had, and they need to come back, so they need to reassemble the Avengers. There's a brand new original story with an all-star cast, as a matter of fact, in their mind. So we have a cast of folks such as Nolan North. I'm trying to fill up the pull list. I
Troy
have
Baker.
Full list here. Yeah, Nolan North, Troy Baker, Lauren Bailey, Jeff, I believe his name's Shine. Is that right? Shrine.
Oh yeah.
Maki. I had another article up and then I accidentally closed it, and now I feel like a terrible person.
Oh,
but
look at you, Brett.
I know it's so bad. I did not want to do that. I wanted to type in the game Avengers on this thing and talk about it. Here we go. I got it. So thank y'all for waiting on this thing. All right, here we go. So we have Nolan North playing Tony Stark, Iron Man. We have Troy Baker playing Bruce Banner. We have Jeff Shine, Schine, playing Captain America. We have Travis Willingham playing Thor, and Laura Bailey, who is playing Black Widow. So that is a big cast. Unfortunately, it's sometimes hard to get past the fact that you know those voices from many other characters in the gaming world. That's just kind of the way it is these days, is that you just hear them over and over again. But I like the look of this game. If that's the graphics, like, it's exciting. They did not say it was game engine, but they didn't say it was gameplay. But it looks like it very well could be. I mean, I don't think it looks terrible, like to the point to where it wouldn't be real graphics. So I'm intrigued. But they also mentioned another thing that's kind of interesting is that this is a service-based game. So whether that is the whole game being service-based or just a portion of it, but this game does allow you to play it single player or co-op with up to 4 players. And they did make sure to mention that you will get new characters and regions that'll be always free, and there will be no loot boxes or pay-to-win methods or mechanics. So you won't have any microtransaction-y things, but you're going to get new heroes and new regions that will unlock in the world. So it sounds like it might be an open world, potentially, or it could be akin to Destiny, where you have like these different maps that you can choose to drop into and then carry out missions and objectives in these different spaces. But none of that was said in this reveal, which is unfortunate. I kind of was hoping it would.
Yeah, I thought they'd give us a little more. I mean, they gave us a good amount, and I was happy with that. But I wish we could have got more of an understanding of what's going to happen, because this is releasing in May, so it's not too far off. I guess they're waiting for Gamescom to really kind of blow us out of the water.
Yeah, by the way, it's releasing in May 15th, 2020. There it is. There you have it.
I still your thunder,
Surprise. Stole my thunder. It's okay. I'm going to become Thor and blow you up with my thunder. No, I'm just kidding. Lightning, actually.
Right.
But yeah.
I mean, if the trailer's any
Same
indication of how this game's going to play, it seems like it's going to play like Spider-Man, third person. You have powers, you use them, and you do cool shit, right? And it just, the way they kind of laid it out, it just makes it seem like it is like Spider-Man in the sense that, you know, some evil is taken, or like some group is taking over the city, and then you and your friends get together because they're like, well, 4 people get to team up, and I would assume you go on a mission. And if it's online and you can play with friends, like everyone selects their character, you know, sort of like Left 4 Dead, and you go into this mission and then you kill everybody, you get rewards and whatever XP, and you level up and blah, blah, blah. But that could be completely wrong. But I could see that being it if they wanted to make it the game that they were talking about.
Yeah. I wish we saw that, but again, I mean, they're not going to show everything. They're just going to get you excited, get you talking, kind of get the initial reactions to it. But it will be playable on Xbox, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia. So we saw a lot of Stadia at this conference, or not at this conference, but at this convention, this expo overall. And Google was pretty smart to like jump in ahead of time and be like, oh, hey, here's the price points of everything. And then also let's throw our name on all these games that are coming out and announce what they are for E3, because it is a big event. But I'm excited. Like, Avengers did not disappoint. I liked what I saw. There was some good action sequences in there. It seems very cinematic, and the story doesn't seem like total garbage. It's hard hearing different voices for these characters that you know and love, but I can get past that. I just hope it doesn't get overly dumb when we get to the open world aspect of it. But only time will tell. Yeah. We'll find out more on May 15th, 2020.
Yeah, I think I have an issue with the actors because obviously I've heard them so many times. So they're always relatable. And then Nolan North is basically Nathan Drake for me forever. So it's going to be hard to get past that. But if it plays well and the game loop is fun, I think I can look past that. The graphics do look really good. And I think some of the character phases could be adjusted, but it's still a game in the making. So all this can be polished out and fixed for me. And obviously, if the story is amazing, I think that it's gonna easy to look past some of these my own subjective dislikes on this. And I still wish they just would have went with who made Spider-Man again? I forget. Insomniac. They did such a good job, and the way that they casted Peter Parker, they made him his own character. which when I play that game, I feel like that's Peter Parker. Like I believe it. And then when I follow his story, it's just so deep and meaningful, and I get attached to that guy. But looking at these guys, it's like I don't see the character, I see the actor. And that's always an issue for any media, especially anyone who's famous. Thank God for Keanu Reeves, who's like, he can be in anything and it's badass, right?
Yeah. But you always see Keanu Reeves.
Right. Sometimes you get the actor for the actor, and sometimes you need.
But then again, I mean, like Keanu Reeves is typecasted, so I mean, like he's always gonna be a badass no matter where he is,
right?
And that's just what he has to show up as. Doesn't matter what his name is. Like, he's John Wick in this, he's Neo in this, he's whatever this metal hand guy's name is in Cyberpunk. Like, regardless, his character is titled badass at the end of the day, and that's what he's good at.
Right.
But with these characters, yeah, it's definitely different because like Captain America is not always labeled a badass, and like Nolan North as a type actor, like he can be a funny guy, but he's not like Iron Man. We were talking off screen. Like Iron Man has this ability to be funny, but an asshole. But he's an asshole that people like, and he's funny. And I don't think Nolan North can pull that off. Nolan North is good at like silly humor as Nathan Drake, and Rocket Raccoon. I mean, Rocket Raccoon's kind of a dick, which he played in Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's different. I mean, I think he can pull it off, but it will be tough. Like if he's just using his voice, like he did a good job at disguising himself when he played Rocket Raccoon. But in this one, if he doesn't change up the way his voice sounds, which doesn't sound like he has done a lot of that, it may be a little tough to distinguish.
Certain actors only have so many levels that they can play, and that's not dissing any actor. I mean, we all have our talents and how far we can reach, and sometimes in video games you don't have to pull away so many layers to find something deep because they're video games, right? But as we start to evolve now, like I'm expecting, at least just me, like I'm expecting to see higher quality stuff, especially from Avengers, which is living in the shadow of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is a horrible place to be right now. I'm not gonna lie, like this game has a lot riding on it. So
yes, it does.
It's just kind of, I don't know. It's just we'll see what happens. And I'm hoping for the best because I want this to be good. I want this game to be good.
Yeah. Well, don't get your hopes too much up because you'll probably get shattered. I promise.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, because it's really hard for anybody to deliver on super high expectations. But I'm gonna take this with what it is, and I'm excited to play a game where I can play as my favorite characters. That's how I went into Spider-Man. I just want to swing around the place, and then I just got the added bonus of like, oh hey, the story is actually really interesting. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for with this, is that I want to be Iron Man and I want to be Thor, and then actually I'd like to play all the characters. I think I'd be interested in that, and see how they differ, and how the combat mechanics work in there. Like if you're going to be able to fight other heroes at some point in the game, or if it's basically just going to be like PvE kind of stuff where you're playing with your friends in co-op, and then you're fighting other enemies, but they're like AI enemies and not necessarily players in the world. So we'll see, but it's a good start. I think they're on the right track in the most cases. Wasn't anything that was like, this is garbage and terrible. And based on the reviews that people are leaving on comments and stuff like that, they're feeling the same way. Some positive feedback coming in here, so I'm anxious to see more.
Heck yeah.
Well, that would wrap it up for our Square Enix coverage. It was nice, a better conference than it was last year, which is good. A lot of cool things to show, or a few cool things to show. A lot of stuff that I'm not a big JRPG guy, but amongst everything else that was there, like there was a nice diverse amount of things. I'm excited about what they have, and looking forward to seeing what comes of these games that they revealed. And it was nice to see fresh new reveals, because some of the other studios and stuff did not do as many fresh reveals. So that was a lot of fun to see. But that's going to wrap it up for our coverage. And we just got some Nintendo left. But those of you that are watching or listening, regardless of the order that you're watching this in, make sure you go back to our YouTube channel and check through our playlist, The Inner Gamer on E3, and look at all of the videos that we have. We have coverage from every conference, minus PC Gaming Show and Devolver Digital, some of the smaller ones. But we have that, and you can also check out our podcast every Tuesday where we do an E3 wrap-up. We have one coming out this week. By the time you listen to this, it'll likely already be out. And then the following week, we have another one that will cover our overall thoughts on E3. So you definitely want to check that out as well. You can find that in any podcast app. And with that, we'll catch you on the next video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll talk to you later. Bye.